Welcome to tonight's what we're doing. TikTok, Facebook, YouTube Live. Hope you're all good. Hope you're all well. Hope you've all had a great Monday. It's been everything you wanted it to be. It's been great. It's been cracking bloody flags. Wasn't expecting it. It's been absolutely stunning. It's been bloody stunning today. Yeah, the weather has been amazing. I've had a busy one. I haven't stopped. I've been here, there, and everywhere. I think because I took the full weekend off, you just end up. I normally do a good couple of hours on a Saturday, which kind of ties off the week. Well, I've kind of tied off the week today, and then done all my other stuff. So, yeah, it has just been a mental day, but a good day. And I don't mind a busy day. Why? Because it distracts you. Excuse me, from food. It really does. You've got to, it's a great distraction from thinking about food. And I've had a really good day calorie wise. I think I'm at about 1,700 calories, which is a little bit low, but I'm going to have a bit of I fancy a bit of an evening snacky snoo. We're going to have an evening snacky snoo tonight. So I'm at 1,617 calories. But I'm going to have, I don't know, I might just have a protein bar. In fact, that's what I'm going to put in. I've got a Grenade, a Perform salted caramel, I think, protein bar. Let's see. They're like 20 calories, 20 calories, I wish. 200 calories. 20 grams of protein. There you go. 1,815 calories we're going to be finishing on. 164.4 grams of protein. 23.7 grams of fiber. 12.2 grams of saturated fat. I like my saturated fats to be under 20. I like my fiber to be over 25. So that's a little bit low today. I like my protein to be over 150. I don't track individual macros. I don't really care. But I do keep a little eye on things. And if I look at my fiber and it's a little bit low today, I'll just eat a bit more fruit and veg tomorrow. There we go. Nice and simple. Right, let's do what we're doing now. Top five. Let's do top five. As always, guys, this is a weight loss live. If you've got any questions whatsoever, get them in. If I can answer them, I will do my very best. Callum's in at number 1. Lisa's in at number 2. Steph GC is in at number 3. Faye's in at number 4. And Kelly C is in at number 5. Good evening, guys. Thank you very much for jumping on the live, coming and saying hello. Donna, good evening. Joy, good evening to you. Joy, I've seen your check-in coming today. I'm going to do it first thing in the morning. I have been, I don't know, Rachel says it's an autistic trait, but when I get my head into something, and I've just been editing YouTube videos and doing some basic bits of admin today. So my head's not in check-in mode. So it was a little bit this morning, but I will do it first thing in the morning because I've got a couple that have come in today. Carly Hatton, a long time no see. Hope you are well. Carly, I'm fantastic. Thank you very much. Hope you are good too. And hope everything's going good with your weight loss journey. Hello, Chief. Andy, good evening, mate. And James, good evening. Sheila, good afternoon. Hello. Really enjoyed the last worth of calories. Oh, I'm glad you did. What did I do? Oh, I did the Farm Foods edition. It's got a load of views, actually, that last worth of calories. It does, I'm obviously not got loads of subscribers on YouTube. I've got 2.3 thousand, 2,328, which isn't bad. I'm not complaining whatsoever. I'm just slowly building it up. My views vary on content. I've just posted today's weekly weight loss vlog. It was ready at R5, and I forgot to put it public. It's just been unlisted. So anyway, that is ready to go. But yeah, last edition of Worth the Calories got 284. It's had 284 views. This one's had 230 already. It's only been out. I only did it Saturday, put it up Saturday morning. So got some good things in there, hopefully. Some bits that you might enjoy trying. Sheila, you can say good afternoon. I do not care. Debs, good evening. Jan's in. Good evening, everyone. This is now, oh, hang on, Debs. This is now my danger period. I have had an excellent day with 235 calories left. So, if you've had a very good day with 235 calories left, and this is a danger period for a lot of people, why is this nighttime period a danger period? What is the reason for it? We have to ask ourselves that. Now, a lot of the time, it can just be down to boredom eating. You know, a lot of people can plant themselves on the sofa at 7 o'clock at night and then not move till 10:30, 11. And that's 4 hours. That's quite, I'm quite lucky at nighttime. I do tend to keep myself pretty busy. So, you know, like tonight, I've got a live. Tomorrow night, I think we're going to take the dogs to the beach. I think Rachel's going to. Oh no, we're not. I've got spin. So I've got spin tomorrow night, I'll finish spin at 6. Rachel goes to the gym after work, and I've said to Rach, I'm going to go and have a quick steam and a shower at the gym rather than coming straight home and getting tea on. We're going to have a dead simple basic tea tomorrow night. And then by the time we've had that and then took the dogs out for a walk, it's like 8 o'clock. And then we just go to bed. So, yeah, why is the evening your danger zone? And I'm not just talking to Debs. It's very common for a lot of people. We have to answer that question. What is it? What's the trigger for you overeating at night time? You know, mate, following keeping it since January. Got a congratulations to the doctor and no longer considered that's great. Love that. We love that, Andy. Improving health conditions on a weight loss journey is what your weight loss journey should be about, really, you know, or is such an important thing. Joan, good evening. Jane, good evening. What to do if I can't stick to a deficit without overeating? First of all, if you can't stick to your deficit, is your deficit healthy and sustainable, or your calorie allowance? That's the number one question, right? So, you know, some people come to me and go, I just really struggle sticking to my calories. I'm only eating 1,200 a day. No wonder you are, right? No wonder you are, right? Your calorie allowance should be based on the amount of calories you burn, and you should eat 500 less than that for most people. So anyone here, you should be able to tell me now, if you're tracking your calories, you should be able to tell me how many calories you burn, right? And how many calories you burn, and you know, what size is your deficit. If you've just picked a random number out, 1,500 calories a day or whatever it is, there's a good chance it's wrong. If your calorie allowance is healthy and sustainable, so it's right for you, right? I come across so many people where their calories isn't right, but it is right for you. Then we have to look at how do you structure your calories throughout the day. A lot of people eat too little throughout the day, and that triggers calorie chasing and overeating at nighttime, or one reason why people overeat at nighttime. Number 2, what are your calories made up of? Again, a lot of people aren't prioritizing protein, fiber, volume. A lot of people are still eating the same foods that they've always eaten. They're just trying to eat less of them. And, you know, that can be. So there's lots of different reasons, lots of different things we need to look at to why you can't stick to your calorie deficit. Michelle's in. Evening, boss. Evening, Michelle. Paul is in. Hello. Didn't go out. We had pizza. I haven't had a pizza for ages. I used to really like pizza. I used to really like pizza. We don't really have a local one to us where we can just go and grab one. Problem is, I'm sat. I feel I should be saving for the weekend. Yeah, so when you say you've got 235 calories left, Debs, is that 235 calories left against your daily target? Or is that 235 calories against your daily average, is what I'm saying? Or is that, you know, have you said to yourself, yeah, my daily average is 2,000 calories a day, but Monday to Friday, I'm going to try and have 1,800 to bank for the weekend. So you 235 under your banking calories, or are you just 235 under your daily average, which means if you have those 235, you're not banking towards the weekend. Kevin, evening. Need a good set of kitchen scales. Any recommendations? My kitchen scales are Renpho, which are the weighing scales, like bathroom scales I use, and they're absolutely great. They're just kitchen scales. Like, they don't do anything special. I think you can link them to an app. I don't. I just use them to weigh. But when I say they're great, I've battered them. I've dropped them in sink. I've dropped them on floor. I constantly just wipe them down with a wet cloth, and they still. Do you know what I mean? Like, I've put them through the mill a little bit. The previous set of kitchen scales I had before that was Salter. They were great. Everyone used to ask me, because I used to have them in my videos that I did. Well, this is what 100 calories looks like, and I used to show it on scales. People were like, "Oh, what scales tell you the calories?" They don't. It was just the prop I used to put the food on, sort of thing. I've not done any of them videos for a bit. I might do some more because a lot of people used to find them quite helpful. So yeah, but I just use Renfo. But Salt are a great set of scales. Get on Amazon, grab it. They're like 15 quid, something like that. They're worth the investment. Scott Champlain, do you count calories on holiday? Nope, never have, never will. Or just enjoy it, then come back and get back into it. That's the one, mate. That's the one. I'm doing a podcast this week. I'm hoping to record it on Wednesday afternoon, but I have got OpenReach coming on Wednesday to install my full fibre. We're upgrading to like full fibre. You're probably all sat there going, Neil, we've had full fibre for 5 years or whatever. I haven't, right? We just have Wi-Fi, like we have fibre, like broadband sort of thing, but where they come and put the cable directly into your house or whatever it is. We're upgrading to that. So we've got OpenReach coming on Wednesday. So depending on what time they come and how long they're here for, I'm actually going to do, talking about holidays, how to enjoy holidays on a weight loss journey. And yeah, I've never counted a calorie on holiday. I have started every now and then counting calories when I'm traveling home, travel day home. And I tend to do that if I'm traveling home in the middle of the week. So my next breakaway is we're going to Benidorm for my birthday in 5 weeks. We fly back on a Wednesday, right? I don't want to leave it till the following Monday to get back on track. I will be getting back at it on the Thursday. So on the Wednesday, when I'm flying home from Benidorm, I will track my calories. I won't give a toss about what calories I'm eating. And I won't. I'll restart properly calorie deficit Thursday. But just to get me back into the swing of it, I will track. Someone asked me this morning about Perform Hydrate. I've got one here, an electrolyte shot. I think you can also get it in a powder. I do like electrolytes. So I've got a strawberry blackcurrant one. I just thought I'd try it now. Calories, 56. No, it's not. 13. 56 kilocalories, which is metric. Calories, 13 calories. And it contains 0.32 grams of salt, which an electrolyte should. It contains taurine, which is good for focus, actually. I don't know. I'm just making sure it's got no caffeine in it. It's got coconut water powder. It's got potassium, sodium, more salt, and magnesium, which is everything an electrolyte should have in it. Take one bottle, 100 ml, anytime during the day. I'm going to take it now. Let's see if it tastes any good. I like something a bit different. Will high heart rate speed up metabolism? So, at time that your heart rate is higher, yes. If that, it kind of. It's one of them. You can look at it. So let's say I exercise for, we all burn a certain amount of calories every minute, every hour. My metabolism is about 2,500 a day. So it's about 100 an hour. If I go and exercise, like my heart rate will increase, and it doesn't necessarily speed up metabolism. It speeds up your overall calorie burn, right? So, so no, it doesn't speed up metabolism. That's wrong of me to say that. While your heart rate is elevated, why I was thinking that was, I think it's because I was having this hydrate shot. If you have a stimulant like caffeine will increase your heart rate without you moving, right? So if I had an energy drink sat here, my heart rate would be elevated from its resting rate, which in turn, because I'm physically not doing anything to increase my heart rate, right? That would be classed as an increase in metabolism. It doesn't increase your heart rate that much, but that would be. Whereas if you exercised or walked and increased your heart rate, that wouldn't be classed as an increase in metabolism. Does that make sense? Absolutely no, Neil. Right, let's try this hydrate shot. Strawberry blackcurrant flavour. That's making my eyes water. That is like drinking. It's definitely an electrolyte, and I can tell you why. You can definitely know it's an electrolyte, because that is like drinking a sweet and sour salty water shot, and that is basically what a strong, because it is a shot, because it is a strong electrolyte, should taste like. I would actually, if I was going to have that again, I would have diluted it probably in about another 250 ml of water, which would have made it a little bit more palatable to down it. But anyway, there you go. What does an electrolyte do? What is the benefit of them? It increases your hydration. If your hydration is low due to a lack of minerals. So basically, I've just tried one then. When that is really, really good is after exercise. So if you do vigorous, so tomorrow night, I've got 4 different flavors. So I've got another 3. So tomorrow night, I am spinning at 5 o'clock, right? I teach a spin class every Tuesday at 5:15. Throughout that spin class, my heart rate averages about 150, 160 beats per minute. I constantly sweat. Sweat is you removing essential minerals. In your sweat, there is salt, there is potassium, all the things that's in this shot. So after I finish my spin class tomorrow, bang, one of them, all the potassium, the magnesium, and the sodium that I've sweated out, this will put straight back into my body. And then that allows my body to hold on to water for hydration, right? It doesn't hold on to water for excess water retention. It's for hydration, yeah? Scott Champlain on Facebook. So if you eat under your calories a week and have been for months and you're going away and eat over your normal calories of 2,600, will you gain a lot of weight quick or just normal? Weight, so there's a difference, Scott Champlain, between weight gain and fat gain, right? So you gain a pound of fat roughly for every 3,500 calories above your maintenance, right? So I eat 2,600 calories a day to put me into a calorie deficit. My maintenance is about 3,500 calories a day. So for me to gain a pound of body fat in a day, I would have to eat 7,000 calories. So fat gain is just on how many calories you consume above your metabolism. So if I go on holiday and I eat over a week 17,500 calories above my maintenance for the week, I'll gain 5 pounds of body fat, you know? Now, if I gained 5 pounds of body fat from being on holiday, would I gain more than 5 pounds in weight? Yeah, I'd probably gain. Well, I've just been to Benidorm and, well, at the end of June. And I didn't weigh myself as soon as I got back. I weighed myself 4 days later. But when I weighed myself 4 days later, I was 8.1 pounds heavier than when I went. So I gained 8.1 pounds in weight minimum. I'd probably gain, if I'd weighed myself the day I come back or the day after I come back, I'd have probably gained 12 or 13 pounds. I'd have probably gained more than that. But when I weighed myself, I was 8.1 pounds up from pre-holiday. I weighed myself on Friday and I've lost 7 pounds. Now, I've been in a calorie deficit over the last 2 weeks to lose 3.5, 4 pounds, and I've lost 7. So I've obviously gained on holiday some excess food weight, excess water retention. That's come out of my body over the last couple of weeks, alongside losing body fat from the calorie deficit I've been in. So, you know, if you eat under your calories a week have been for months and then you go away, your fat gain, your weight gain is down to you, right? Some people can store, it's generally down to size, if I'm being totally honest with you. You know, I'm an 18.5 stone chap. So I'm a big guy. I'm 6'5". I'm 18.5 stone. So, you know, I can retain a lot of extra water. I can have a lot of extra food weight in my system. I eat a lot of calories. I eat quite a few calories anyway. You know, I average about 2,600 a day, and I do eat fairly low calorie foods, which means my volume intake is quite high, right? When I'm on holiday, I'm eating, well, I'd say on holiday I eat about 4,500 calories a day, and then any other calories I consume is alcohol. So, you know, I eat a lot of food. So I get clients that come back and they're a pound heavier after holiday. I get clients that come back that are 2 pound heavier. But I'm going to do a podcast on it this week about handling holidays. We're kind of like right bang in the middle of holiday season now, aren't we? Kids have just broken up. everyone's going, over the next 6 weeks, it is the busiest time at the airports. It's the busiest time abroad and stuff like that. And then September is a really busy time because a lot of people that are craving a holiday now, they're not going to go because it's so much more expensive because it's kids from a holiday, so the prices go up. So loads of people, and mainland Spain is still very hot up until like mid-October. So mid-October, end of October. So, we've still got a good 3 months of summer holidays. We're probably, mainland Europe doesn't really get hot until middle of May. So we're probably only about 2 months in to pure holiday season, and we've probably got about 3 months left. So I'm going to do a podcast on it. Yeah. Scales don't move that much. That's why I've upped my exercise. That's all. Yeah. So upping your exercise. So your metabolism is the amount of calories you burn on a day-to-day basis for basic body function. It's heart rate, lungs, growing new skin, breathing, all those sort of things, right? If you add some exercise into your lifestyle, that will increase your metabolism. That will increase your maintenance. That will increase your overall calories. Because when we look at overall calories burn, we look at our metabolism, BMR. Paul, you've had a full calorie breakdown from me because you've been in my community, or have you been on plan? You might have been on plan, actually, Paul. And if you look at your calorie breakdown, it tells you what your metabolism calories are, and it then tells you what your maintenance calories are, which is your metabolism calories, plus the amount of steps you do on average, plus the amount of exercise you do on average. Now, if the scales have stalled, scales do stall, right? We know that. I talk about it all the time. The only time we'd ever worry about the scale if it lasts for 5 or 6 weeks, right? And it could be a case of your calorie burns. If you go get yourself to the gym, increase your calorie burn a little bit, will that get them to kick in? Yes and no. I think going to the gym and exercising or doing an extra training session a week won't burn enough calories to elicit any sort of fat loss, if I'm being honest with you. I'm always going to be honest with you guys. But, exercise can have a couple of different effects. It can have a lot of indirect effects. It can have I've trained hard tonight. I don't want to blow my calories, so I'll be a bit more control with my eating. Exercise can improve mental health. You might do a couple of exercise sessions a week and your mental health's not the best. It's all right, but it's not the best. Just adding that third exercise session in might just be enough just to tip you over the edge to where your mental health's in a better place, and that can help you control your calories better, So doing exercise will not increase your metabolism. Like I say, a stimulant might increase your metabolism for a very short period of time, like caffeine. The only way we can really increase our metabolism long term is by increasing muscle mass. The more muscle we carry, the more calories we burn on a day-to-day basis. So I'm 6'5". I carry a bit of extra muscle than standard skeletal muscle. If I just carry standard skeletal muscle now, my metabolism would be about 2,250 a day. Because of the extra bit of muscle I carry, because I've been to the gym and I've lifted weights for a good few years, my metabolism is about 2,500 calories a day, But to increase metabolism permanently through lifting weights takes years. I've been training for 11 years, and I've probably been lifting weights properly since 2017. So about 8 years I've been at it. And, I've only increased my metabolism by about a couple hundred calories a week. And I train I train weights 5 days a week. So, it will increase metabolism, but it is quite a slow process. Yeah. Community mate, cheers. Paul, not a problem at all. But if you go into your calorie breakdown that you've got, your weight might have changed, your movement might have changed, so it might not be 100% accurate now. It tells you what your metabolism is, right? And like I say, there's only one real way to increase metabolism, but there's loads of ways to increase our overall calorie burn, right? Increasing the amount of protein we eat will increase your overall calorie burn because it's got a high thermic effect. Increasing the amount of steps you do will increase your overall calorie burn. Increasing the amount of exercise you do. Movement is number one for increasing our overall calorie burn. Yeah. Right, let me scan down, see if I've missed anything over here. Anyone tried Clear Protein? I can't get it to mix right. It's clunky. Yeah, I'm not a massive fan. What I tend to find, to be fair, I say I'm not a massive fan. I don't mind it. Some of the My Protein ones are good, and those are the only Clear Ways I've really tried. What I tend to find with a Clear Way is I'd make it the day before, if I'm being honest with you. Good protein shaker, put your powder in, put your water in, shake it like your life depends on it, leave it in the fridge overnight. It will all separate, but the protein will break down a bit more in the water, and then give it a really good shake the next day. And you should find it is a better consistency. Right, let me scan up. Oh, what have I clicked on there? I don't know. Does it depend what causes the HR increase? Yeah, a little bit. But even like I said there, like we said there, if it's walking that increases your heart rate, no, that's not an increase in metabolism. If it's a stimulant like caffeine, that is an increase in metabolism. But you'll never ever increase your metabolism enough to elicit any sort of fat loss by taking caffeine, right? You'd have an heart attack before you did that. Yeah, please don't take too much caffeine. Yeah. Clear Whey Protein reminds me of the antibiotics medicine for kids. There are some decent flavors, to be honest with you. It all depends on personal preference and flavors. I find them a bit clacky. I don't know why. When you have a Clear Whey, it's a milk-based protein because it's whey protein, but you want it to be a cordial, but it's not a cordial, right? It's. I always find him. I don't mind him. I don't mind him. I don't mind him, but I wouldn't go out of my way to have them over like a milk-based protein shake. I love the Vimto one, but it needs ice. Jane, you're absolutely, and I think that is absolutely the same with any Clear Whey. They need to be ice cold, ice, baby. They need to be ice cold. Absolutely. I think, yeah, you definitely hit the nail on the head. The colder, the better, 100%. How much weight loss would have to happen before you relook at calories if movement doesn't change? It all depends, really. Obviously, Callum, you're on my one-to-one. So when I would relook at calories, if movement doesn't change, is if we see a drop in results, right? That's when I might look at it, because then we question, how's your consistency? That's all good. I've got no reason to believe it isn't. So, so with my one-to-one clients, if I see decent weight loss, but then I start to see a slow down in that weight loss and movement isn't increasing, then we might have a look. Then we might have a look at calories. In terms of people that are in my community, I would say, even if you've not lost a considerable amount of weight, even if you've not changed your movement that much, just as a little bit of reassurance, if you wanted me to recalculate your calories every 2 to 3 months, it might be absolutely no different to what they were originally. But sometimes it's just that. Because obviously you guys on the one-to-one, I constantly look at your plan. Right? I look at your movement, I look at the calories set, I look at the results, I look at, when I'm doing check-ins, I don't just write your number down and go, well done. Right? No, I have a look at that. Right. So you should have eaten in the last 2 weeks, you should have eaten this many calories. By doing this movement, I know you've burnt this many calories. You've got this result. Let's look back at the last few weeks, right? On average of the last few weeks, you've dropped 6 pounds over 6 weeks. Calories are all good, or what you're doing is all good, So there's no need to jump in. Like I always say to everyone on the one-to-one plan that questions, do I need to change this? If you need to change something, I will tell you in your check-in, right? But our calorie burn on average drops about 50 calories a day per stone lost, right? What you also need to take into account, and I don't talk about this too much because sometimes you give people an inch and they can quite often take a mile. I'm a little bit pessimistic when I give you your calories. So your calories are a bit lower than they should be. Why do I do that? Because everyone's can be a little bit inaccurate with their calories. So when I calculate your calories, I don't include the thermic effect of food. I include your metabolism, I include your movement. So you're already 10% under. If you increase your protein intake, you're probably 15% under, which is why I do get some clients that eat the calorie. If I get a client of mine that is losing 1.5 pounds a week consistently, I'm like, damn, you're being accurate with your calories. Because that is, if you were being damn accurate with your calories, that is the kind of the deficit I do put you in, right? Give you a little buffer because I'm a nice guy like that. That little buffer, though, on the other hand, when I get clients that really struggle, I'm like, you're not eating your maintenance. You're eating like 300-400 calories above your maintenance. So if your maintenance is 2,500, on your sheet, your maintenance is actually about 2,008, 2,900, right? Now, I'm giving you my little secrets here, but, because... And I do keep, I do talk about this. I've said quite a bit that I don't include the thermic effect of food. I use it as a buffer for you guys. All right. So, and there is a reason for that. So again, if you guys are really accurate with tracking your calories, most of you are in an 800 calorie a day deficit. So before you went into a 500 calorie a day deficit, you'd have to lose 6 stone. Right. So that's why I don't really need to change calories that often, and that's also when I get clients that come to me and go, I've been bang on with my calories for the last 3 months. The scales haven't moved. I'm like, you're not, because if you were, you'd actually be losing 6 to 8 pounds a month, not even 4 pounds a month, and you're not losing anything. Fat loss is maths. Some people don't like to accept that. Some people like to accept it is down to putting in this perfect combination into the body to get it to lose body fat. And a lot of influencers will have you believe the same thing because they want you to believe that they have got the combination that you need. You've been searching for this combination. Come on, plan with me and we'll cut carbs out. That'll balance your hormones. It'll stop you releasing insulin. It'll reduce inflammation in your body. It'll do this. And this is the little combination you need to lose fat. Now, combination you need is you burn this many calories and you need to eat under that. This is your calorie maintenance. You need to eat under that, right? That is the only way we lose body fat. That's it, right? It's not about balancing anything, right? I suppose the balance is finding the healthy, sustainable calorie allowance that allows you to stick to an allowance where this goes down, right? But you're not feeling overly restricted, so you can be consistent with it. So I'm letting you all into my little tips and tricks here. You're like, you sneaky bugger, Neil. So sue me. That's what I do. Anyway, let me scan up and see if I have missed anything. I am hot. I'm sweating. Honestly, it's been so hot. Has it been hot everywhere today? I'm in lovely, beautiful Lancashire, and it has been absolutely baking today. And I'm sat here now, and I'm absolutely sweating. I could do my door open a little bit. Anyway, there you go. In fact, I'm going to go and open my door because I've just checked in. I've got half an hour left, and I am sweating. It doesn't help that I've also just had a really hot shower. Oh, I could have gone and done this live in garden, to be fair. That's how flipping warm it is. Right, I'm putting my desk up. And I'm going to go into relax mode. And then hopefully I'll stop. I'm putting my desk up so I can cross my legs. Oh, there we go. Oh, that's nice. Oh, that's nice. Doors open. Got a nice breeze in now. Hopefully I'll stop sweating. Right, I'm moving my phone a bit closer to me. And I'll still be able to keep an eye on 2 things. I'm going into a bit more of a chill mode now. Been warm here. Been out catching fish out the pond to sell. And been sweating. I was like, what Cal's gone fishing for the day then? Right, you've been catching fish. Koi carp maybe. No, we haven't had a jot of rain today here. And no, I'm not a million miles away from you, Cal. We had a thunderstorm yesterday which cleared out the air a bit. Yeah, we were meant to have really bad thunderstorms here over the weekend, but nothing. Absolutely nothing. It did pee it down last night. It may be a class as a thunderstorm. It did pee, like when I say pee it down, it absolutely blasted down last night, but there was no like thunder and lightning or anything like that. Anyway, there we go. We've done the weather. Right, let me scan up. I was on a walk at the time when it lasted down last night. Yeah, I did. I'd say that my steps were bad yesterday. I did 8,000, but yeah, they could have been better because then we did get to the beach. Even after having a few cans, I did get to the beach yesterday, but I didn't really move for the rest of the day after that. What's your thoughts on extreme calorie deficit, i.e., a week of fasting? Not considering it's pointless, just absolutely pointless. I just don't see why people would want to do it. Like, yeah, it might put you into a severe calorie deficit, but it'll be mentally horrible, physically horrible. You'll be tired, you'll be hungry. If you did a 7-day fast, the knock-on effect of that is probably 7 days of overeating. So I just don't see the point of it. Like, if you want to lose weight, just do it healthy. Why would we want to ever do anything that's not in a healthy fashion? Like, the whole point of wanting to lose weight should be to improve our overall health. So why would we ever want to do that in an unhealthy way? It's just counterproductive. I don't, and it's, yeah. There's a guy actually who was doing a live the other day. He's from around this area, and he did this. He probably came on TikTok maybe 2022 when I saw him. And he used to do alternate day fasting. And he lost about 100 pounds. And he was singing the praise. He was like, amazing. On a Tuesday, I can eat pizza. Then on a Wednesday, I'll just starve myself. And then on a Thursday, I can have a burger and chips. On a Friday, I'll starve myself. And he lost about 100 pounds. He did lose a considerable amount of weight. And then, like they all do, he just disappeared. 12 months later, restarting my journey, blah, 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 blah. Gained all these 100 pounds back and a bit more. And I was literally like, I wonder what's he doing now? Same thing, alternate day fasting. That this time though, rather than it lasting 6 or 7 months, it lasted about 2 months, disappeared. Over the weekend, flicking through a live, and he popped up again, and that was his thing again. Restart my journey. And he was like, yeah, well, the mistakes I made last time, I'm going to correct them this time. What method are you using? Alternate day fast. People won't learn. People just are not willing to learn. They are going to keep on looking for that quick fix over and over and over again. And all crash dieting does is cause, yes, short term can cause some quite extreme weight loss. Long term, it just causes weight gain because, like I say, this guy lost 100 pounds, and I think he was about 100. 12 months later, he was 120 pounds up. He gained his 100 pounds back in another 20, and then he's gone back into it. And then he was doing the same again when I saw him on his live on Saturday. So I'm just like, why? What are you doing it for clicks? Are you doing it for things? Or is it just, what have you convinced yourself with? Yes. And this is the worst thing with these stupid fad diets. You do them once and you manage for whatever reason to have that mentality to stick to it for 7 months and you lose 100 pounds. And now you're just clouded by that. Last time I did this, or the first time I'd lost 100 pounds and I did it in 6 months. Whereas I want most of my clients to lose 100 pounds in 2 years. In 2 years is what my aim would be. But my clients that lose 100 pounds in 2 years, they're not miserable. They're not starving themselves every other day. And they lose that 100 pounds and they'll keep it off, True. Everything is based on risk/reward and time as a variable. What if there was no consequence? Just curious. I'm doing it as a challenge, then up to maintenance. I just don't see the point. I just don't see the point in putting your health at risk, right? Because it is. Like there's not one medical professional in the world that will say starving yourself for 7 days is good. Denying your body vitamins, minerals, nutrients, like nothing. I just don't see the point. Like, don't get me wrong. I suppose, like you said there, if someone just wants to challenge their mental aptitude to wherever they can, there's loads of people that do extreme challenges, don't there? There's a guy around here called Bill Hodson, and he's just he's a top guy, but he's just not wired right. And I think he'd probably say that himself because, he does challenges, which is amazing. He's raised ridiculous amounts of money for charity, but he does things like flipping a car for 24 hours, flipping a 28-stone tyre for 24 hours, at Christmas he pulled a sled. I don't know if it was last year. I think he's retired doing it now. I think he announced the other day. But I think this year he pulled, or Christmas just gone, he pulled a sled from Dublin to Preston. Like he literally did it like across parts of Ireland, got the ferry to like Holyhead at Wales, and then pulled it right across North Wales. Took him about a week and a half, and he's just absolutely. And he said that he said I'm not. He said you can't get physically fit enough to do the challenges he does. It's just his head. You've just got to beat this. And I'm like, but what he's putting his body through to do, and I think that's why he's retired now. I think he's like, I've done enough of it, because he's absolutely, it destroys him for 2 weeks. And that destroying yourself for 2 weeks, yes, you raise an amazing amount of money for that'll be with you for the rest of your life. The things you do over short periods of time can affect you for the rest of your life. And that's why, these world's strongest men, Eddie Hall, world's strongest man, as soon as he won it, he retired from it, because he was like, I need to be 31 and a half stone to be strong enough to win world's strongest man. And that is just going to put me in an early grave. Right? Now, his life expectancy, because he's never dropped down really below 25 stone, and he's still on obviously a lot of gear, and he's still obviously eating a lot of calories. His life expectancy, even now, is still massively shorter. But rather than probably facing not being here by the time he's 50, he's probably now given himself another 20 years. But that's what sometimes when he'll probably say, look, if I go at 70, I go at 70. If I make it any longer, it's just a bonus, because I love lifting my weights and I love being the size I am. But 31 and a half, he's just pushing it a little bit, So it just is what it is. And like I say, for me personally, it's just not for me. I just don't want to do anything that would compromise my health. I just don't see the point. But if you want to do it, who am I to say any otherwise? Yeah. Wouldn't catch me actually fishing. Find it boring. I've not fished for ages. I used to enjoy it. It is boring. And actually, I think I prefer it now, the fact that you've got like AirPods and like YouTube and stuff like that. But then a mate of mine, he goes fishing, and like he's a top angler. He's like one of the best in the UK or something. I don't know how you decide if you get judged to be one, but he is. He's amazing. Like he writes columns for like fishing magazines and all this and the other. And he's set up. I'm like, how's that fishing? He literally sets everything up and just sits in a tent. And then his rod's telling when everything's pinging and banging. He doesn't need to sit there. When I used to fish years ago, you'd see like the ripples of the water, and you'd be like, and then you'd be enticing it a little bit to try and, you'll probably start there going, no, that's not fishing. But anyway, there we go. Now I've just insulted about, now I've just insulted however many whatevers. I don't know. Fishermen that are on my live. Anyway, on a separate note, what do you find most difficult about coaching? Very good question. What do I find most difficult? I don't really find anything difficult in terms of actual coaching. I mean, I work a lot of hours, I suppose. That's probably the most difficult. What do I find? Do I find something maybe frustrating? It might be what you mean maybe a bit more. Maybe that might be a better thing. But I don't really find anything difficult. I suppose building clients isn't the easiest thing in the world. It takes. I go through stages with it. I'll get a motivation, and I'll talk about my plans all the time. Guys, some deal on at the moment. If you want to sign up, TikTok profile, and I'll mention that all the time. Then I'll go through stages for a couple of weeks where I don't promote my plans at all. When I talk about my plans all the time, I sign up quite a lot of new clients. When I first started coaching and I had no clients, I used to talk about, but now I've built my coaching up to a point where I don't really want to take it any further. I sort of, when I get a few clients drop off, and I'm like, my monthly subs have gone down a little bit, I'll put a bit of effort in, build it back up, then I'll chill my beans a little bit. But there it is. What is the biggest challenge as a coach? I think being an online coach, the biggest challenge is getting people to be accountable. Yeah, when you're not, I think it's a lot easier to be less accountable when you're not face to face. So, and I'm not saying my results are any different when I was a one-to-one personal trainer, but when you're a one-to-one personal trainer and you're talking to someone, you can see through them a lot easier, right? So you tend to find that people would be, and I'm not saying like I've got a lot of dishonest clients, but I have got clients that are kidding themselves, right? Or I do get clients that kid themselves. I'm not saying I've got any at the moment. I don't actually. I'm pretty good at the moment. In fact, I am. If I'm being honest with you, my clients that are checking in now, maybe a couple, but and I think it's again for me as a coach with my coaching style, it's about getting people to be accountable in the way that my style is. So I'm not like a Pete. I'm not like a like a boot camp person, or I like to get reactions out of people in a very roundabout, not roundabout way. I don't know how to describe it. I don't know how to describe it. It's just, yeah, it's like I won't say they go stop bullshitting, right? I won't. I'm not that sort of right. Let's be honest now with ourselves. What you're telling me is a load of garbage, right? Because you can't pull the wool over my eyes. I've worked with too many people, and I know this game inside out. So let's have a bit of honesty. Sometimes you want to be like that with people, but that's not my style. And I fully understand. I have a lot of empathy for people because I think we do convince ourselves we're doing miles better than we are, because I've been 37 stone. So, and I used to do that myself. I used to absolutely kid myself. And it wasn't a malicious thing. It wasn't, I know my clients that might not be being 100%. I know they're not purposely trying to pull the wool over my eyes or purpose. It's our head. It plays very dangerous games. Yeah. There are many coaches that have that aggressive style. Do you think it has its place? Maybe if that's your target audience. I don't know. Depends who your target audience is. I always say this whenever I deliver any bit of advice, whether I'm recording a video, when I'm doing a podcast, when I'm sat here now, when people ask me questions directly about weight loss, I do think if I gave this answer to 37 stone Neil, who was quite fragile, very vulnerable, desperate to lose weight, how would I react to it? Right. And when I see a lot of coaches, but again, a lot of coaches, is there you've got to have a target audience. You've got to. You can take on anyone you want to, but it's like you might have. My mate runs his own garage and he specialises in Audi, VW, Skoda, Seat, I suppose Lamborghini now, Porsche, any of that car group. That's what they specialise in. If someone with a Fiesta turns up and wants the brakes doing, he'll do it, right? He will. But that's not his speciality is that VW group. Yeah. So, and that's the same with me. I have a certain clientele, and my clientele for me personally, a more softly approach does work. That doesn't say I don't adapt a little bit. And I've said this recently where, I have a couple of times took a more stern stance with some clients, because sometimes you get backed into a corner with clients and I've got nothing else to do. I've tried everything. When I've tried, and I did it with a client last year, and I just had to, lay it on the line because I'd tried everything, every little trick in the book, from sharing diaries to getting them to have weekly weigh-ins to even me in some, send pictures of your food. I'll tell you the calories in it. Then we can compare to. I tried absolutely everything with him. Nothing changed. And in the end, I just wrote a message and said, look, at the end of the day, you're lying to yourself. And until you stop lying to yourself, then you're never going to, because we worked together for about a year and it was the same thing. I just don't see where I'm going wrong. I asked my partner says I'm being as accountable. As if your partner's going to turn around and go, being accountable, or you toss that full packet of hobnobs you had last night went nowhere near your app. So let's, because they don't want an argument. They want a quiet life. Do you know what I mean? As soon as someone says that, I've asked my partner, I've asked my kids, I've asked my mum and dad, do you think I'm being, as soon as they're trying to find justification from someone else, I'm like, red flag, you're doing nothing that you should be doing, you know? So it's hard. It is hard at times, but that's it, you know? All coaches have different styles, don't they? And I suppose that's what makes us unique. And, you know, just because some coaches one way and I don't agree with it, some coaches will see me and go, oh, God, as if you're going to get any results like that, they're just going to walk all over you. Well, they don't. No one can walk over me. I've got eyes everywhere. Right? I'm very sneaky in my responses. I back people into corners sometimes, right? So I don't give them a way out. And then they have to be honest, if that makes sense, you know? That's just the way it is. You're generally the only person who's ever got me to lose weight because it's sensible. Kirsty, you've done absolutely. Me and Kirsty have worked together for a long time. Done absolutely brilliant. And we have, and you've had the tough chats, but you've also had the empathy, and you've been through some really tough things, Kirsty, and come out the other side. And you know, I'll be honest with you, Kirsty, you are very honest. You are honest. You've never, you know, sometimes you've maybe pushed it a little bit, but overall, you're very true to yourself. And that's all you need to be, you know. First time back, I say, I forgot how full you feel all day when losing weight. That sounds weird. It doesn't make, but it is, you know. The thing is, we go out and we might eat a lot of calories, but if those calories aren't very nutrient dense, so you just, you know, bacon butties from the side of the road, quick pie here and there. I'm not saying they don't fill you up, but they certainly don't fill you up for long periods of time. And you'll certainly, you know, we did it yesterday. We went, took the dogs to the beach. We had a walk about. I said to Rachel, I'm starving, right? And I had a bowl of shredded wheat in the morning. Right, and this was like, and I had 100 grams of shredded wheat with milk and honey. Hour and a half later, I'm starving. So we ended up getting a bacon and sausage barm on the way back from the beach. Smashed that in, got home, smashed in 1,000 calories of leftover Chinese. I was like a bottomless pit. You couldn't fill me. But I was just eating, you know, shredded wheat is nutrient dense, but it's carbs. It digests very, very quickly. Hungry. Bacon barm from Sidot Road. There's not loads of protein in it. A lot of saturated fat. Saturated fat is very, very moreish. Chinese. After I ate my Chinese, I was full, but it literally took me probably 2,000 calories by 2 o'clock to plug a gap in my flipping trap, right? Whereas 2,000, I've eaten 1,600 calories today, not been hungry once, but I've prioritized. I've had loads of salad, chicken, high protein wrap, gammon, homemade air fried chips, couple of eggs, 2 great big wacky mushrooms like that. Just really high volume food that's low calorie. And yeah, it does. It fills you up, you know. If you weren't a coach for weight loss, what profession do you think? Johnny's got all the questions here. If you weren't a coach for weight loss, what profession do you think you would go for? I probably would go back to being an accountant. To be honest with you, I need to scrub up on my maths because I feel like my brain's gone to mush a little bit because, you know, I don't do arithmetic or figures daily. But yeah, I'll probably just go back. I probably would just go back to being an accountant. I'd love to be a teacher. That's where I always wanted to be a teacher. That was always the career I wanted to go down. But high school was horrible. And I'm like, I'm not going to live there and work there. So I never did it. And I suppose in a way, I feel like this is kind of ticking the boxes a little bit. But Rachel says that. Rachel's like, you're 45, go do teacher course for a year, you know, or even just go into college. I might look into doing that. Go and teach A&P at college or teach personal training or something like that, because I could do with the qualifications I've got. I could just go and do a course that would give me the accreditation to actually then go and teach other people. I have thought about doing that, like doing that one afternoon a week or a couple of nights a week, so just to break things up a little bit. I don't know, but if I needed to earn decent money, I'd probably just go back to being an accountant. I can imagine the challenge could be some people might not put in their full trust into what you say. Yeah, that is. That's just down to unhealthy relationships with food. And this is why on my one-to-one plan, or one of the reasons with my one-to-one plan, I asked for a minimum 3 months commitment. Because, yeah, a lot of people have been pushed from pillar to post and they only believe Slimming World. And I basically say I've got 3 months to, some people do, they just scan across my TikTok or whatever, or just pop on and see watch come on my YouTube and go, do you know what? Because I don't charge a lot of money for my one-to-one coaching. I'll have a punt on this guy. I've tried everything else. Let's have a punt on him. And I asked for a minimum 3 months commitment because in 3 months, I use that 3 months to gain trust. Now, with weight loss, you gain trust very, very easily by going, follow this, and you'll lose weight. And if in 3 months' time people are stoned down but I get so many people come on and go straight away, I can't lose weight eating those calories. Like, yeah, you can. Right. Well, no, I have to eat 1,500 calories a day. If you have to eat 1,500 calories a day to you're not eating 1,500 calories a day. You might think you are, but you're not. Right. So that's another job I have to add to the list. Teach this person how to be accountable and accurate with tracking calories. So yeah, I'm obsessed with all these knockoff Soleros in the evening. Oh, Kirsty, I don't know if I must have had one. I have had one. The mango one, I think. They are very, very good. Their feast tubes are amazing. They are unreal. Aldi's feast tubes, they're pretty calorific, like 240, 250 calories, but they are sensational. They really, really are. I am like a bottomless pit with water today. That's probably because I've eaten about 3,000 calories worth of Chinese food, which is probably the saltiest takeaway you could ever consume in your life. Over the last 2 days, bloody worth it though. Oh my God, they're better than Feast. They really, really are. They are so, so good. They really, really, really are. Right. I think what you do here should be taught in school. I do, Mick. To be honest with you, I do. And it's something I was going into before COVID hit. So a friend of mine is a teacher and run a department. And I was chatting to Lancashire County. He'd sort of introduced me to someone at LCC. And I was going to do it for nothing. And basically, I was planning on going 2 afternoons a week into 2 schools and just chatting for an hour for a month and putting like a course together for 4 weeks to just help kids improve their knowledge around nutrition, around food, around balance of eating, and just try not to go too much down the calorie counting lines. You burn this many calories, you have to eat this many calories, but just about what generally you find with kids, the boundaries that a lot of adults have around weight loss, kids don't have them, like time and they don't really have lots of disposable income to blow on different bits and pieces. So it can just be some simple education to get them to maybe move a little bit more, improve their overall diet a little bit, maybe watch portion sizes a little bit. That can be enough for kids at times. Sometimes you don't need to delve too deep in. But yeah, and that's the thing. And then COVID hit, and it just kind of went out the window, and I've never pursued it. I've never pursued it since, Anyway, you lovely people, that is me. I am out of here. I am done for this evening. I'm absolutely knackered tonight. I had the most craziest dreams last night. I don't know what it was. It was absolutely wild. So I had a pretty good night. Like I had 7 hours sleep, but I don't feel like I had 7 hours sleep. So I am knackered. So I am getting straight into bed. I'll be back tomorrow morning, 8:30 in the morning till 9:30. And then we've got this week's weight loss coaching live at 11. And I'm going to absolutely lay it on the line. I have no idea what topic I am going to talk about tomorrow. I've always got a few topics saved in my phone, but I haven't got a clue which one I'm going to pick tomorrow. So anyway, but we will be having a weight loss coaching live. I'll do the TikTok, Facebook, YouTube live, 8:30 till 9:30. And then I will, I'll put in the WhatsApp community what the live's going to be. And then I'll also put the link in for the Everything Weight Loss session on Wednesday, which is at 8 p.m. Anyway, we'll be back in the morning, 8:30 a.m. TikTok, Facebook, YouTube. TikTok, I'm going to sign off to you first. Enjoy the rest of your Monday evening. Whatever. Good to be back. Good to have you back, Mick. It really, really is. Yes, whatever you're doing this evening, enjoy the rest of your evening. And hopefully, if you're free at 8:30 tomorrow morning, I will see you then. TikTok. And same to you guys over here, Facebook, YouTube. That's me. I'm out. I'm going to bed, but I'll be back 8:30 tomorrow morning. So if you're free,